Hello, hello, and welcome, one and all, to the Snide Show. I'm your host, as always, Cornelius Edward Snyder, otherwise known as Corey the Curator, joined by the wonderful Joe Bridges.
Good evening, everybody.
There he is. Yeah. I am excited to have him back this week. We've got a fun little punch bowl of content here for you. I'm still kind of scaling things back up, building things back up from the ground up. But yeah, we've got the themes back. We're going to be getting into a little bit of commentary, but we're going to still keep it on the DL. We don't want to get in trouble for showing anything we're not supposed to, like we're some pirates or something. Yeah.
You would think now there'd be less restrictions with all this deregulation going on. We should be able to just kind of show whatever we want.
That's such a prescient point. Yeah. Like, yeah, here I am, a little pissant, trying to, give my little snide commentary on, some clips, and I can't even get a fucking, get out there in the feed. Meanwhile, what else is happening out there?
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a crazy time to be the little man and have the thumb put on your back.
Ooh, speaking of, I can feel it, folks. I can feel it because I've talked about it on the show before. I had like a weird little back injury, sneezed a herniated disc, and ever since I get these intermittent, like, it's just fucking carrying the weight of all this shit, and it gets to me, man. I think it's a pinched nerve. I think that's what they call it. It's a pinched nerve. It's like I got a little wedge down there, and I can kind of feel it just pushing out every now and then. It's like a little radial of all this like searing heat, and I kind of feel too like I'm chopped in half, right? Like at this vertebrae, and like the rest of me is just kind of dangling down. It's such a weird sensation.
You ever try using an inversion table?
I dream about it. I fantasize about it. I have a friend. I've been nervous to ask. But I kind of feel in my bones that that would do it for me because I fantasize about that medieval torture sometimes where they take like my fucking ankles and my wrists and just fucking pull. Oh yeah.
I recommend it, man. I've had issues with my sciatic a couple of times, and I got myself an inversion table because it's one of the only things that would give me relief.
Yeah. Yeah, I am, man, I'm glad to hear that endorsement because I will I'm that means a lot to me because I am going to do it. I'm going to fucking the first chance I get, I'm going to swing upside down like a bat, man. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get a table like soon, just see if maybe Rye could just hold you by your ankles and shake you.
He can give me that Suge Knight treatment over the fucking balcony.
Yeah, pretend that you're Vanilla Ice,
Yeah, just ding me. Oh, what a
and then you're all
dream.
of a sudden your back's realigned and everything's good.
Oh man, I'm again kind of fantasize about. Kind of feels like it would fix everything. Yeah. So that's a little tease of the slice of life. Let me play a little bit of those sweet tunes of the slice of life. That's right, the slice of life. I gave you a little taste, a little squirt. What's going on in your world, Joe?
Well, I've started working in my kitchen, which I was talking about before, trying to get the ball rolling to reestablish my business after the flood last fall,
Fuck
and
yeah.
everything's been going really well. And I've been well received with the things I've been able to do, so it's been nice.
Awesome, man. I am like elated to hear that. Sincerely. Yeah. And we're still building things up over here, trying to get the ball rolling on some fictional stuff that we're hoping you'll do some voices for, Joe.
I love doing voices.
Fuck yeah, man. So look forward to that, folks. There will be a vote coming up soon. I can't remember if I mentioned last week or not. Like I'm working with a cinematographer now, the great Mark Spraker, who's gonna help me. He's gonna invest his time and energy into helping us do some like maybe some green screen type stuff or animation, some sort of we're thing. So many ideas are up in the air. We're just, as always, trying to figure out what's the most kind of like cost effective way and to make sure everyone can get what they need to fucking do this shit. Yeah. So I've been putting a little bit of blood into this game. I gave some plasma earlier today, and yeah, I'm trying to actually fucking put my blood into this game, man.
That's pretty impressive, man. I accidentally put some blood into the game when I tried to sell some semen and worked it a little too hard.
Fuck yes. Oh my god. I wish I had the soundboard up for that one for a little dun. That's exactly what I needed to get out of that tangent. So yeah, man. I'm so glad that we're all like kind of in a rebuilding phase. We're on the upswing in our own personal endeavors and professional endeavors. Yeah. So what would have been some of your top bakes recently?
I've been right back into the cheesecake game. Everybody seems to love cheesecake when I make it. So I made a couple for a restaurant, and then I received multiple orders because of that. And Monday I
Ooh.
made a cheesecake just on a whim, put it up for sale at about 9:30 in the morning, and it sold in 2 minutes, which was surprising to me. So that was very nice.
Fuck yeah, man. Oh man, who doesn't love cheesecake? Ah, it's the most decadent form of the most decadent food, cheese. Um so what flavor was it?
I made an Oreo cheesecake and a pink almond cheesecake, and I
Oh,
ended up selling four Oreo cheesecakes and two pink almonds.
hell yeah, I saw that Oreo cake. I saw that. I gave that some love cuz that thing, oh, like oh man, I can't say enough of it. What we got to do, Joe, before next time. Oh man, what this? Ooh, ideas are cooking in this funky brain of mine. Slice of life can also have the meaning of a slice of your cake of the week. Like you could come on and show a picture, some pictures of some works that you're proud of, and we
Oh,
see.
nice. My mind went in a totally different way when you were talking about slice of life. I was like, placenta cheesecake.
That too, people eat that. People do that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I know they do.
And speaking of another fantastic transition, that brings us to the topic of this week's Stalk of the Town. A very natural segue as what we're going to be talking about. So this show is basically just going to kind of become me clarifying social media posts and stuff, because I'm one of those people. Some people use social media to shout into the void, and I'm one of those people. Others use it to shout back. We laugh generally on this show, and I laugh at myself a little too because I get out of pocket about things, and yeah, and I forget sometimes, to use social media for the more positive things. I go on there to kind of rant about things and move on, and I kind of compartmentalize a little bit. There's some echelons here, and I try to mitigate the most kind of vitriolic kind of rants. I keep to my very personal uh, uh, Cornelio Ferrilio, and no one on there should be like a business connect. But there's kind of an in between ground with Corey the Curator, because part of it is I am like kind of representing myself on Facebook, which unfortunately has kind of become a business place, and I see things, and as I've been ranting about recently, the algorithms are getting weirder and weirder, and more just about kind of outraging people, and just kind of what stirs up any kind of interaction, whether it's good or bad, right?
Well, I didn't see like a full list of everything that changed with Facebook over the last couple of weeks, other than a return of a bunch of stuff about hydroxychloroquine or whatever, because
Yeah,
now the fact checks are gone. So all those things are resurfacing. And
exactly.
I'm sure there's there. It seems like I'm having to close and hide
Mm-hmm.
unrelated posts to things that I normally see.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's strange, there used to be way more targeted videos being sent to me of things that I normally watch, and now
Yeah.
it's kind of like left field video, and I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's fun. And I do kind of try to, sometimes I'll jokingly angry react to something or sad react. I mean, I don't know how, I don't know exactly how it's coded, but I do know that there has been an increasing thing of like getting people just to like engage with anything. You angry react to something, you actually might see more of that because it's interaction rather. So yeah, the thing is, it had become hide, hit the X, see less of this, see less of this person and stuff. That doesn't seem to be working as much anymore either. I'll be honest. They might not show you that specific thing anymore, that specific person anymore, but I've noticed they'll still kind of keep you in that echelon of like, I guess that's the word of the night, of just weird, like, it's always the most radical form of everything eventually, right? Like if you like something, you'll like the next three things you see related to that, it's going to get progressively more radical just because it's like to get, again, engagement, reactions. But
Do you think
now,
it
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
do you think it also has to do with like the way all these services listen to the microphones and pick up on your conversations? And in
Maybe.
the last few weeks,
Hmm.
things have gotten crazy, so conversations have gotten a lot crazier. So now they're suggesting like wild shit to everybody.
Well, and that brings me to what I wanted to talk about in this Stalk of the Town. And I'm not going to show the posts because, again, I don't want to actually be targeting anyone with this criticism, okay? Because it's so, it was in every, this one photographer that is specializing in a form of photography that I actually learned it's actually called maternal boudoir photography. Boudoir being a fancy word for like risque. I mean, it's softcore porn essentially, and it's the maternal. It's pregnancy. It's softcore pregnancy porn essentially, which, for the record, I'm fine with other people doing. I don't think that's wrong, right? What I said on Facebook is I don't care who you are, pregnancy boudoir photography is gross. Gross being a subjective, it's an opinion. It is what what I'm saying. And that's just me, just fucking, it's if this was 15 years ago or 10 years ago, it would have been a tweet, right? It was just as I am wont to do, just a nonsense opinion. And part of the absurdity of it is that I am the one having that opinion, right? Like it's who who the fuck cares what a 30-year-old punk dude is like, what he thinks about, like, like
Yeah,
pregnancy.
you're not a professional photographer, and you're not a pregnant woman, so your opinion kind of is low on the totem pole.
Yeah, and honestly, that was kind of which is why I chose the word gross. I didn't say like an abominate. It's just gross is just a funny thing. It's just a funny, quick word, right? Gross is it's a fun word, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and rather, and so I was ranting about this, right? And even my lady, who's like, we have no interest in having kids. She has no interest in the pregnancy lifestyle, or like the, that whole like traditional thing or whatever.
Or the
Props
result,
to
right?
say that again.
I said, or the result.
Or the results. Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
I
but
have two results, so I can say result.
right, right, right. And honestly, Joe, you're the kind of person I think should be having kids. You're a wonderful, kind guy, and I I have mad respect for good people that have good kids for good reasons, and are good at what they're doing and stuff. But even she was like, got annoyed with me and was like, well, look, like, these ladies, there's probably like, she didn't say it specifically like this, but she basically said like they probably got some self-esteem stuff going on. It's a confidence booster. It's something, they can do to, yes, that's great, and she said 9 months is a long time not to feel sexy. But to that, what I wanted to say was, I haven't felt sexy for 32 years.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue that with a man. We generally don't feel sexy. I could speak for a few of my friends at least.
Yeah, yeah. But she was saying
And a
it's,
woman doesn't start showing until she's like in the fifth month. So like half of the pregnancy, she can still feel sexy.
that was my point. So I said, 3 months. you know,
And
um,
it's like your boobs get bigger. I'm sure that may help. I don't know. I have poor self-esteem issues personally, so it's hard for me to imagine like how a woman when she's like super vulnerable feels about herself.
exactly. So, and she was talking about, it's a long time, just, it's a miserable process. It's something that probably feels nice, and I totally empathize with that. But also, here's the other side of the coin here. The reason why I, a 30-year-old dude, saw this quite a few times on my timeline with no reaction, no mute. I didn't like, I didn't unlike, I didn't like frown, I didn't do any of that. I didn't care. I just kept scrolling, and I get that this photographer was like bombing all these like local pages or whatever, but it like was just kind of like, it's wild to me because the pictures were out there, other people were showing theirs, and and then it's I wanted to look more because but I didn't want it to come up in my feed, right? But it seemed to me just from passing through that this is a whole subculture and a whole lane. Like, this is this person's, and it's the wild part to me is not doing it, right? The wild part is being all up on Facebook about it, right?
Yeah, instead of just keeping it on Pornhub like you normally do.
Like a normal person. Well, we don't get
Yeah,
that
it's
around
a
here now.
category for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, that goes back to the gross part of like, what, like, it's cool, but I'm not on here like, where's the foot photography? Like,
But I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, for women, it makes them feel better, but for guys who see that, it's like it might be their fetish.
it's gotta be right. It's gotta be right.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense to people who aren't into it, just like most fetishes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
I can't say that I look up like pregnant women when I'm searching for stuff online.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not going to put out there what I do. It's like it's just kind of like it's there is the decorum on Facebook is gone. It's just gone, right? Like it's it's been gone for a while, but it's just like on the everything, on the low, and maybe here's a little subconsciously of like why I got upset because they didn't like me promoting my shows, my inappropriate shows, right? They didn't like
You're
me
like,
promoting my but
you're
here's
like,
this
I
pregnancy
posted these
porn.
photographs of myself when I was constipated and nobody liked it.
I was trying to feel sexy, Joe.
I was bloated and constipated. I put on something skimpy to feel good about myself.
My breasts were swollen. All right?
Your nipples were tender.
Yeah, man. And
You
and
just needed to feel
everyone
good.
and everyone on Facebook thought it was disgusting and said this is not
Yeah,
the
you got
place for
slut
that.
shamed.
Yeah, and now here I am seeing a double standard in my own backyard. So that's what that's all about. Um, yeah. So perhaps,
I'm pretty sure if we put out like a fake maternity calendar with the two of us posing as though
yo,
we were pregnant, it would probably sell.
I am okay. Come into the Snide Studios shop this summer, or well, when do they sell calendars? I guess like December or
The
something.
beginning of the year, we got a
Yeah.
whole year to plan this thing out.
Oh my God! I'm gonna try to find that photographer. I mean, she
All
did.
I know is I'm painting a pumpkin on my stomach for October.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll have like the ghost face, like the scream face or whatever, like with.
And we can see if we can get Chasey B on board. He can paint a watermelon on his stomach for July.
Yo, there you go. It's all about the branding. Oh my God, that's wonderful cross promotion right there. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Coming soon to a wall near you. The Snide Studios maternity boudoir photography calendar.
So does that photographer by you specialize in the boudoir photos? Or is that just like what's popular at the moment?
It seemed to me, from me quickly uh, uh, skimming through, that yeah, like that's like the lane, and that's what she's putting out there, and that's what she did it a couple times. She's like, hey, I'm actually making some good money for it, and like is like this
Oh,
is it now. This is
thank God it's a woman. I in my mind I thought it was a guy.
I don't actually know I assume just because the
Oh,
picture was
so
up,
in
yeah,
your
who
mind you're
knows.
assuming it's a woman. In my mind I'm assuming it's a man.
At which yeah, which is would make it 10 times
Creepier.
creepier. Yeah, yeah.
I think you need to call this person and set up us to do our photo shoots. At least one photograph for maybe the cover of the calendar,
but
and then
it's
we'll
a
find out who this person is and expose them.
it's a sting. Yeah, it's like when it's like those people that chase sexual predators.
Oh man, that's become really popular too. Just random people eh, like punching pedophiles in the face, and
Yeah.
it's just been there's a lot of those videos out there now too.
There was one I can't remember if we watched it or not, but I did save it because it was the funniest reaction. This guy like they this gang apparently they would spray people in the face with water bottles, and this one he like acted like he was like he was possessed by a demon. Like it was like when they sprayed him with the water bottle, it was like something out of The Exorcist. It was so weird and funny.
That's cool. That guy got to have an out of body experience from being sprayed with water.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of clips, oh, I don't think I did prep the clip chomp theme. But at any rate, I won't be actually showing the clip because of the recent controversies with showing clips, and I'd be a pirate if I showed other people's clips.
Yeah, you don't need to get slapped on the wrist of your hook hand.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, this guy, and I'm also not going to shout out his page because I don't want people to like go harass him or anything. Like that's not what I'm doing here. It's just this is a bodybuilder that I found very fascinating. Is very fascinating to me, and I think that you all would be fascinated just from hearing him as well.
This is just watermelon, apples, lemon, lime, mushrooms, cucumbers, red onions, and that's it. No water, no protein powder, no meat, no eggs, no dairy, no alcohol, no drugs, narcotics, no deodorant, no lotion, conditioner in my hair, no Johnson & Johnson baby oil, no Pampers baby wipe that's giving colon cancer, rectal cancer, no prime poison energy drinks. I'll show y'all something this it. We gonna get dirty this it.
What a specimen.
No steroids. Steroids are for losers. Steroids are for losers. Steroids are for...
He's totally ripped. He has zero body fat.
Where your abs at?
Yeah, there's no
He has a
arguing with his results. Like yeah,
he has a 10-pack.
yeah. There's no arguing with his results because he's in that Marvel shape. He's the most vascular you've ever seen. Of a person, just muscles on muscles. That SpongeBob clip where he flexes the muscles and the muscles come out of the muscles is what's going on there. But two things though. That in here, okay, so I will show. Well, I should have taken like a screenshot. Now I closed the video. We were in a debate earlier about what's going on with his skin, because his
There's a
skin,
filter. There's definitely a filter.
it's this unnatural freckly, it's almost like shimmering in a way.
Right.
Yeah, and I thought it was, and I was watching on the phone. Now that I see it on my monitor, I actually like I'm shifting more back to what you were saying, but it's so like because of the not drinking water thing. I thought it was dehydration. It was like his skin flaking off of him.
He thought he was super ashy because he's a black guy who doesn't drink water.
I didn't say that, Joe. You said that.
He's
I
like,
didn't say.
he's like, no drugs, no cocoa butter.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's so anti anything but weights. And
Well, I mean, like his body looks like an anatomical person, where it's just the musculature, and then they just like stretch skin over it. You
Anna,
can like every vein and muscle is visible on him. It's just under a thin layer of skin.
anatomical and atomic, because he's like got like these, like, again,
He's
it's like,
glowing almost.
yeah, he's glowing, which I thought, maybe it was somewhat like the exposure and stuff. The reds are up. If you look at his hat, like the reds are up and shit. But like then you look at the other people, and no other people have that kind of quality. I didn't look at his other videos. That's what I should have. That would have been the scientific thing. Is like, is this a consistent? At least he's just got that filter on every
I think
fucking
it's just
video.
a bodybuilding thing, the same way that they'll use like oil and
Mm,
stuff like that to accentuate the muscles and their vascularity. Like that filter really does make him look probably even more ripped than he is. It
right,
really
yeah.
shows like all the definition and everything.
Yes, it's very sharp. It's a very sharp filter.
But
but
what a disciplined guy. He probably eats his own poop or something. Like, I only drink
something
my
crazy.
pee.
Yes, yes, those weirdos. Yeah, he does seem like he's got like because he's like the first few things he says, you're like okay, and then he goes on to huh, and then it gets
Yeah, he's like, no
increasingly
protein,
bizarre.
no
Wait,
eggs, no.
no
What
protein.
does he eat?
Yeah, that skin
He said
definition.
he said watermelon first, which I don't think that's cool.
Like he said that to like fucking to goad people and stuff, but no, no, I guess he gets his water content from melons and cucumbers and shit, like, but his enzymes are still starving for something, man, because no protein. Your body needs, like, yeah, maybe you don't want too much, sure, you don't want too much of anything, but then it gets even more preposterous to where he's like no baby wipes, and I'm like, I never heard that baby wipes were like an issue.
Give you colon cancer, he said.
Like, I've heard baby powder, like, cause like they stopped using talcum and started using other stuff because they found like
Yeah,
some,
cornstarch now, yeah.
yeah, because they found like talcum's carcinogenic, and that's the thing. I mean, but fucking isn't everything carcinogenic these days? So, but it's
But I've
just like,
also never heard somebody, especially somebody who's like athletic and works out, say like, I don't drink any water. That's like
yeah,
insane.
yeah, it's dude, and maybe that's why his rant took such a strange direction, because he's so like dehydrated and like delirious from like malnutrition that he's like, oh fucking the baby wipes, man, motherfuckers keep using baby wipes. It's like,
And it's like
what does that
instead
have
of
to
his
do
brain
with
being in fluid, his brain is in like liquid fructose because he just gets all of his moisture from fruits.
yeah, man, like yeah, the glucose, man, yeah, his glucose levels are just fucking outrageous. Yeah, yeah, or fructose, that's right, fructose is the fruity one, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like and it just takes such a like turn, because you're like, prime energy drinks, yeah, those probably do suck. I mean, what do they got in them, like acetaminophen or something, or not acetaminophen, what fucking aspartame in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like again, it's just like he takes such a dive, and then it's just like at the end of that tunnel, what was at the end of that tunnel, and it's probably at the end of every tunnel: steroids are for losers, steroids are for losers. Like this mantra that he has to like fucking keep himself in, to fucking like, no fucking, and I wonder how long ago that mantra started. I do wonder.
When he stopped doing steroids.
Right. Like, did that start the week before? Like, now he's in NA? You know?
It's like that's just part of bodybuilding for the most part. Especially if you're somebody who does competitions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've all seen documentaries about wrestling in the 80s and 90s and stuff. It was the same with bodybuilding because it's all how you present yourself. And now
Yeah.
it's just, with all these people who want to be like influencers, like that Liver King guy.
Yep.
It's like, just because your body looks like that, you could literally say whatever you want. That guy could work out and be like, I eat Captain Crunch for breakfast every day. And people
Right.
be like, holy shit, he's just disciplined enough that he burns it off. No, you can say whatever the hell you want. Like, there's nobody holding anybody's feet to the fire, to be honest. You're presenting yourself online the way you want to.
Yeah, cut to he's in the locker room, and he's pinching a bit of his ass, the little tiniest bit of fat on his ass, and he's being like, I'm a fucking loser, and like shooting the syringe into that little bit of fat, like just like
He leaves the gym and goes to Wendy's and gets a baked potato and has like, he
yeah,
could say whatever he wants.
right,
Just like the no steroids thing. It doesn't mean he's never done steroids.
right.
Doesn't mean he's not currently doing steroids.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And then again, just like joking all the way to the bank. Ah, ha, ha, I'm a loser. And then who cares? Because yeah, it's all about that image and stuff. I do wonder, and I'm sure I'll be seeing more of them on my dashboard now. Oh my god, it just really tickles me. The things that people get like fixated on in those worlds, like you said, like the people that love the urine and the people that like, you know, all sorts of just there's a niche for everything, and within all those niches you will find these nuts that just have these fixations and like you said these disciplines that like sometimes they're sure admirable, and then like at other times you're like, oh, this is like a manifestation of a mental illness.
Yeah, like the people who do like sun gazing, where
Oh
they
my
go
god.
outside and they look at the sun when it's setting or they like go out in the sunrise and expose their rectums to the sun.
Yeah, yes, yes. Actually, I did have somebody come to a show one time, and like, actually, like he's a funny dude, and he went on like a tangent about like sunning his balls and sunning his asshole and stuff, and like from the stuff I knew about him, I was like, dude, all of this stuff you're talking about, the least of your fucking concerns, buddy. Like all of the, well, you know, you got to get the vitamin D. Like, you know, it's just like, uh huh, sure. Where are you living again? You know, it's just like,
I
oh,
just think in
people.
like 15 years when you're watching TV and there's a commercial where they're like, did you sun your rectum in the early 2000s? If so, you may be entitled to compensation because
Yeah,
everybody
man.
got weird rectal cancer from exposing it direct sunlight to their buttholes.
Oh my God, coming soon to Snide Studios, commercials from the future.
I was thinking the same thing about Ozempic and all those like weight loss shots
Ooh,
everybody's doing.
yeah.
Give it like 10, 15 years. Did you use Ozempic to lose weight? If so, you may be eligible for compensation.
Yup. Yup. It would not shock me because here in America, like what people don't realize about, you know, if I may get on my little soapbox here for a second, that the fucking in Europe and other places like that, like when it comes to what you can put in your body and shit, you have to prove that it won't do harm before it can get fucking passed. Here in America, it's all like reactive, like we'll wait until it fucks some people up. Then we'll talk. Then we'll see. You know?
There's so much transparency in other countries in regards to like food and medication.
Yeah. Yeah. And
In
here,
Japan, you can't even put a picture of food on a package that doesn't look exactly like the food.
I love that. I
It
love
has to be the
that.
same size. It has to look like what the person pulls out of the package.
As someone who's privy to the filmmaking tricks of the trade, dude, every one of those glossy ass burgers you see on those menus here in America is covered in hairspray. They
Hmm.
fucking put this, oh my god, it's all toxic to eat. And then like sometimes with these shoots you gotta have the actor, like you swap the burger out, and even now they're like fucking CGIing the food where it's like they go to take a bite and cut like right before the burger hits their teeth. Trade swap it out. You know,
Yeah,
because
I don't even think people realize how many commercials it makes it look like the person's biting the burger from the back, like where the camera can't see, but they're not doing anything like that
no
because it's a
man.
prop.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah,
doctored up so much. But even
yeah,
like all the labels that show like food enlarged to show texture, it's like enlarged to show texture. They can't
yep,
do that. And the reason they have to put the text on there is because people expect if you're buying a box of crackers that it's
yeah,
going to look like what it looks like on the box. They have to put that fine print that they've enlarged the photo to make it
yeah.
look better.
This fucking nation is an amusement park, man. It's the most
Yeah, it's Michael
like
Jackson's Neverland.
it is. It's just all fucking glitz and glamour and plaster and paint and fucking makeup on a big old fucking pig. Good night, everyone. No, just anyway. So speaking of burgers, I meant to bring this up at the top of the show, but it's serendipitous that we come back around to the subject. For those that don't know, at Snide Studios, I, my brother, and some of our friends, we do a little bit of streaming of games, all sorts of different games. And they have a little collective known as the Greedy Gang. And we've been trying to like set up a regular thing on it's Wednesday nights. We're streaming. We're doing things like Grand Theft Auto, we're Uno, all sorts of stuff. But it's very like casual, a lot like this. You know, we're chit chatting as we play and shit. They're known as the Greedy Gang. They're always going on about things that are hashtag greedy, and yeah, they're real fun. They're fun guys. They're really fun guys, like a bunch of mushrooms. Um, so Joe, you see this? I'm gonna pop it onto the big screen so that the folks at home can take a look at this beautiful graphic. Let me make sure I've got. Let me make sure folks can still hear you. Joe, can. Oh shit. But hold on. Joe is still there, folks. Joe is still there. Hold on a second, everyone. One moment. Is it the front headphones? Front headphones, Realtek Audio. Go ahead again, Joe.
Hello? I might
There
not.
he is.
There we go.
Wonderful.
I'm back. I never went away, but here I am.
He's always
And what a
here.
beautiful logo that is.
Right here. From our very own friend of the studio, Abigail Boyd, made this wonderful graphic. Yeah, like I couldn't be more impressed. They have a little like kind of like that's like their I don't want to say gang sign. I mean, it's not a gang sign, even though it's a sign and they're a gang. It's the thing like they biting into the burger and they got their pinkies up because they're still fancy. They're greedy, but they have some class. And they've done it's like they it's fun when they're around each other. You see them do it, you're like, it's a greedy gang. And yeah, so I had Abigail make a little graphic there with the for those that are just listening and not seeing. It's again, it's a person holding the burger, pinkies up, greedy gang, and ketchup and mustard on the burger, mouth about to bite into it, and it's, oh my god, it's so good. It's, yeah.
It is very nice.
Thanks, man. And I'm proud to have her helping us out with the graphics and stuff. Because you know what, folks, AI couldn't do it. It was a little too specific and a little too, like AI could not fucking wrap its stupid robot brain around a person biting into a burger. From the other side, you see the pinkies up. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad
right.
it took a person.
Exactly.
God.
Exactly. So good news, folks. And I was trying to bring this up at the last squeeze, at the Cringemas one. But I felt a little bad because there were some users of AI, so I tried to keep it very like egalitarian, like very like, and again, like I said, then it has its place and stuff. But the point I was trying to bake on there, and I think it sounded kind of dickish when I said it, but my point was that anytime I've had an idea of a graphic or really anything, and I fed it to AI has never been it's gotten like little pieces and stuff. It can do like little bits here and there, but you still have to take it and do so, because it was always like, I kinda got it, but like, there's a humanity there, a certain unique, and if it's able to do things for y'all at home and you're satisfied with it, that's fine. But anything I've ever had, I've had to go back and like trace or have another artist take a whack at. All my logos, they were all conceptualized with AI, but then like we had to go in and like actually make it from scratch over, because it can't really do what people do.
I guess that's probably the best way to use it as a tool, is to have it help you create a template.
Honestly, I think
that's just like the framework of what your idea is, and then you have somebody actually do the work.
legally, I think that legally and ethically, and ethics opinion, but whatever. Legally, objectively, I think that that is how it should be allowed to be used. I don't think anyone should be able to take something directly out of a bot, put it out there, and be like, this without humans at some point having some sort of and be like, this was it, like, I did this, or and if they do it, they should be able, I did this with this, and this did this did it. I kind of I, I wrote a phrase into a keyboard and something else did it. I
Yeah,
guess you.
from what I understand, that's the way they're starting to work with movies, which
Mm,
I welcome it just because there haven't been any new movie concepts in so long, just remakes of old things.
yeah,
So if it takes a bot to help somebody create a concept for a new movie
right.
and then people write that script, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. The people write the script, the people perform it. You're not having like, it's just I see so many people in I don't get on my soapbox a lot seriously. Again, I do jokingly throw opinions out there here and there, but like this is something that I'm like, because it's nuance, because there is, at the end of the day, the genie's out of the bottle. There's no putting the genie right back into the bottle. Like, it's out there.
Right.
Like, but there should be, as with everything, a little bit of regulation. Not too much. Not too much. Just a little bit of like, hey man, that you can't just fucking put that on a t-shirt, make a buck.
Somebody's going to, unfortunately,
That's
because we live in it's capitalism. So it's like whatever you can do to make a buck, somebody else says it, you're like, hey, I'm going to put it on a shirt and make money off of what that other person said.
right, right. Yeah, and
Talk to a coin.
sure, yeah, and that's the thing is like, again, it's all these genies are out of the bottle. There's no putting them totally back in, but we can all make strives to do a little better, to be nuanced, and not so hard line about things. But yeah, again, back to my point is like, I tried a few times with Dali and like other things to like make something that this was such an original idea, could never get close, it could not wrap its mind around this, like, or its mind, as if it has a mind. Listen to me. As if it has a mind. It could not, conceptualize this, and I find that beautiful, and I'm proud. I'm proud to have people in my midst that have ideas and be able to adapt ideas that are so unique that even artificial intelligence can't can't touch it. Can't touch this.
Yeah, nobody's accusing you of being a basic bitch.
No, it's no, we keep it nuanced at Snide Studios, man. And on that note, this has been such a great stream. Do you have anything else to add to any of this discourse today, Joe?
No, I'm glad that despite all the stuff that might be going on in the country, and some people seem like they're really down about the way things are right now,
Yeah.
we can just kind of have a conversation, and it doesn't have to be dominated by negativity. There might be some cynicism in there,
Mm-hmm.
but I think despite the darkness, um, I tend to be a very negative person, but I'm always optimistic about the future.
I love that. Someone out there put that on a t-shirt, quote it to Joe Bridges, give him what? 30%? 60%?
I don't need anything but credit. Put my name on it.
Oh.
Don't give me the money. Just put my hideous face
Oh, don't
on the shirt as well.
don't do that. No. As always, the legendary Joe Bridges, everyone. Happy to have him back on. We'll hopefully be doing this next week as well, and every Tuesday heretofore until otherwise noted.
I'm saluting you. You can't see it, but I'm saluting.
Hell yes, hell yes. And a salute to all of you. Have a great night and a great week, and stay snide.